Okay, Lenny. And then finally, the mobile speed camera, which has been installed and was functioning, but we have an issue with the batteries not recharging. This is something
because you haven't got the solar panels.
My understanding was that we were to order a solar panel speed camera, and it seems to come to fruition that we don't have a solar panel one, and it needs charging. So this is something that I think we need to bounce to estates to look into at some level, because we need to look at some permanent recharging options, because at the minute we're taking them down every 5 days and having to recharge them. Yes, Gareth.
Yeah, I think actually there was a fault within the camera. I'm not sure that it's entirely battery discharging. Ivor has the camera currently. He is now in contact with the makers of the camera, or the supplier of the camera, because their tech guys emailed me to say that they wished to try and help remotely. And so I asked Ivor what was his feeling, and he said he was quite happy to talk to them over the phone and try and see if they could reach a solution. So hopefully by the time we actually get around to an estates committee, there may be some firm information on it.
Sue Hubbard.
Yeah, just to say, the battery versus the solar panels that supply the speed camera, you cannot be moved from post to post. So if you have a solar setup, it has to stay on that particular area. They're not movable. So if you wanted solar, you'd have to have one on each post, or as many of the posts as you required.
Right. Okay.
And you would need stronger posts, because the posts that we've got are not big enough for all the weight of both.
Right. Peter, I think you wanted to speak.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it's unsatisfactory to have to change the batteries so frequently. It's time consuming. It involves somebody in that extra work. I think we should be looking at a comprehensive review of the speed cameras around the parish, and put together a plan for where they're needed.
Shocker.
And what our financial commitment is going forward in terms of the numbers that are needed. But I think we should also be looking at solar anyway. I know it won't completely charge the battery, but it would prolong the amount of times that we have to charge the battery. So if it goes from 1 week to 2 weeks, I think that's an advantage. But my fundamental point is, I think the estates need to look at the whole picture of the parish, where those kind of should be needed, and we should have a plan going into the future, where we're going to put them, over what period of time, and set aside the necessary financial cost. I did have somebody contact me from Lower Tramar saying how they really needed a speed camera, because that long straight of road there is a bit of a death trap, because people really pick up speed when they see that straight bit of road.
There are 2 poles on that stretch already, Pete.
Yeah. So, but what I think we need to be doing is saying to the parish, yes, we recognise there's a problem. This is our plan. This is how it's going to work. And if we are moving those cameras about, it should almost be, it should be made aware that, it's going to be done in a 3-month cycle or a 2-month cycle, and each whatever. But we actually need to create a story that we can tell to residents, so that they understand that we're not just sitting back and doing nothing. Because, already there are comments about, oh, the camera isn't working, blooming useless parish council. I think we need to get out there and say what it is. But it isn't. Why it is we're doing it, and that there is the plan for how we're going to implement the speed cameras around the parish.
Thank you, Peter. I think, Clive, did you want to speak?
Yes, I just wonder what the actual cost of solar. I understood it was going to be solar, but obviously not.
Yeah.
But I mean, we don't need to go into that now, as Peter just explained. We need to bring it up, or whoever is elected needs to bring it up at the next meeting.
Yeah. Okay. Any other comments regards to speed camera?
I hate them.
Well, I was caught going through at 22 miles an hour.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm not ashamed to say I forgot it was installed, and it actually does work, because you drive into the village and it flashes you, and you don't actually realise your entry speed to the village. So actually, it has actually. I'll admit it to members of the public here. I was in excess of the speed limit coming into the village, and it does make you slow down. You see that and you go, oh, and you realise. So it actually does have its advantages.